Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
Okay, 2:34.
It's time for Middleboro Matters on WBBS 1530 AM and 99.7 FM. Hosted by Joey Driscoll. Call in at 508-822-1106. And now, here's Joey Driscoll with Middleboro Matters.
And good morning and welcome to Middleboro Matters. I am Joey Driscoll. Today is Monday. It is Monday, November 17th here. And we are into the second half of November now. And if you want to listen, it's a couple of ways to listen to me here on right here on WBBF, of course, 99.7 FM, 1530 AM. But if you wanna see me and listen to me at the same time, YouTube, Middleboro Matters Radio. Middleboro Matters Radio on YouTube as well. So check that out too. Along with listening to us here on WBBF. All right, we got a great show planned as always, and we're going to start off. Right with the MIAA brackets here for football, the tournament brackets for the football for this year as we move into the semis now here coming up next weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about that, starting with Division number 1 as we reach the semifinals for that division. It's a big division with a lot of eyes on it, Division 1. In the first semifinal matchup, that'll take place on November 21st at 6 p.m. at Burlington High School. St. John's Prep will take on Central Catholic. That is a heavyweight matchup there, those two schools. And then the second semifinal will take place the day after, November 22nd, at noon, Milford High School. That is Xaverian Brothers versus Springfield Central. So really no surprises here when it comes to your Final Four in the Division 1. You know, this is most years, this is your Final Four. You know, especially because Xaverian Brothers is a powerhouse football school. So is St. John's Prep. They always kind of get to the Final Four pretty much every year. So this is no surprise that this is your Final Four in Division number 1. Now, Division number 2 semifinal, Catholic Memorial. They'll take on Winchester in the first semifinal of Division 2 at Hormel Stadium. That's in Medford on November 21st at 6 p.m. And then on the other side, Bishop Feion. They'll be taking on Bridgewater Raynham. We talked about Bridgewater Raynham just before at the end of Ron's show there. Bridgewater Raynham and Bishop Feion. That'll be a big matchup on the 21st of November, 6 p.m. Again, the winners of those games, they go on to the Super Bowl, which of course we play at Gillette Stadium. And I believe it's during the second week, I believe in December, that happens. So we don't have, I don't know if we have a date on that yet. But that's Division 2. Division number 3. King Philip Regional, another local school as well. King Philip Regional, they'll be taking on Malden Catholic in the first semifinal in Division 3. That'll be at 3 p.m. at Bridgewater Raynham High School. And then on the other side, North Attleboro will take on Milton, and they'll be at Milford High School on the 22nd at 3 p.m. That is Division number 3. Division 4 semifinal. Scituate versus Duxbury at Hingham High School on November 21st at 7 p.m. And then on the other side of the bracket, you have Tewksbury Memorial versus Canton at Manning Field, and that is in Lynn on the 21st of November at 6 p.m. Now we have Division 5. Division 5 is Shawshene Valley Tech versus North Reading at Danvers High School on November 21st at 6:30 p.m. And then on the other side bracket, taking place at Bridgewater Raynham High School on the 22nd of November, Archbishop Williams will take on Foxborough. So that'll be a big matchup. Foxborough back here in the situation in the Final Four once again. Division number 6 for the semifinals. Norwell will take on Hudson at Weston High School on November 22nd at noon. And then Bishop Fenwick will take on Fairhaven on the other side, November 21st, 7 p.m. at Assabet Valley Regional High School. Division number 7, Cohasset will take on Northbridge. That's going to be at Woburn High School, November 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Amesbury will take on Clinton, and that's at Manning Field at Lynn on November 22nd at 1 p.m. And then finally, your Division 8 semifinal is as follows. Randolph takes on Neshoba Valley Tech. That's going to be at Wayland High School, November 22nd at noon. And on the other side, no surprise, West Boylston is back in the Final Four. They've been kind of the powerhouse of Division 8 for a couple of years now. West Boylston has been. And they'll be taking on Lee in the Final Four. That will be at Holyoke High School, November 21st at 6 p.m. So there is your Division 1 through 8 MIAA football playoffs update as we reach the semifinals. Again, some of these teams, all these teams that make the Super Bowl, Division 1 through 8, as Ron mentioned earlier, will have a pretty big decision next week after the semifinals on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever they play, when it comes to Thanksgiving week, if they start their starters or not. I know Carver made the championship one year, Division 8. They sat all their starters, and I think they lost. They lost to Middleboro in that Thanksgiving game, and then they went to Gillette and got destroyed by West Boylston. This was not last year, I believe the year before. So sometimes sitting your starters works out for you in the Super Bowl. Sometimes it doesn't. And in Carver's situation, it didn't help them sitting their starters on Thanksgiving. I think some coaches are going to look at that. Are going to look at situations like that and may start some of their important starters to keep them on their toes and warmed up as well, and get some playing time in there. Maybe work on strategy as well for that big game as well. I think a lot of coaches will probably be looking at that too. But a lot of coaches will sit their starters, of course, as well. You do have the factor of not wanting to get an injury before the big game at Gillette Stadium. But I know that there will probably be some coaches that will look at it as an opportunity when it comes to strategy as well, to have some of their players starting on Thanksgiving that will play in the big game, just as a strategy move, I think, in my opinion. But what is your opinion on the MIAA football playoffs? 508-822-1106 is number to call. We are going to take our first commercial break right now. When we come back, we're going to move over to a couple of other local things that I want to talk about here as well. Some local events I want to talk about coming up. After our first commercial break. Our news break will be coming up at 11:30. Stay tuned for that as well. But here comes our first ad break. We'll be right back. I'm not too far off the mark, right, Ron? About some coaches thinking that they want to start their starters on Thanksgiving as a strategy move. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Some
Yeah,
like it because it's traditional.
Yeah.
So some coaches like it. Some coaches say, nope, I want to save my guys for the Super Bowl game.
Yeah. I think the Thanksgiving football games for teams that are in the Super Bowl are a good opportunity to work on strategy.
Sure. It really is an individual decision.
It is. At the end of the day, that's what happens. It's an individual decision.
Don't take a chance. Call 811 before you do.
Like I think the Division I teams that make the Super Bowl will sit their starters because no matter who gets into the Super Bowl, they've seen each other before. They know what to expect. I mean, it's the same song and dance pretty much with Division I because it's the same four teams pretty much, or a mixture of
the same 4 teams.
yeah.
Sunday morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. only here at AM 1530 WVBS and at 99.7 FM.
Okay. I'll go for music for a second. I got a couple things. Two. And we're back here on Middleboro Matters on WVB at 1530 AM, 99.7 FM. 508-822-1106 is number to call if you want to call in, talk about whatever's on your mind this morning, whether it be the MIAA playoffs, if you're watching that closely, or something going on in Middleboro, Taunton, or Raynham. If you want to talk about what some of the what's going on there in those towns as well. 508-822-1106 is the number to call. All right, we have a couple of events to talk about here. The City of Taunton Lights on Festival buttons. They're on sale now. Buttons are just $5 each. And only teens and adults need one. Kids are free. This button gives you access to all the festival's activities. New this year, the Lights on Buttons Perks program. Show your Lights on button at participating local businesses and enjoy special discounts throughout the holiday season. Purchase your buttons today at a number of locations. This includes the Taunton City Hall, the Mayor's Office on the 4th floor at 15 Summer Street, Trukey's Supermarkets in the Taunton locations, Taunton City Parks and Recreation Office, 170 Harris Street, and the Taunton Federal Credit Union at 14 Church Green. And the Lights On Festival will take place on Saturday, December the 6th, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Opening ceremony is 4:30 p.m. on the Taunton Green. There'll be live entertainment and kids activities and also a laser light show as well. And the Christmas parade in Taunton will take place at noon on Sunday, December the 7th. And it starts on Broadway and will end at the City Hall of Taunton. Also coming up in Taunton, it's the monthly Taunton Lodge of Elks 150, honoring all those who served. Monthly luncheon for veterans, third Wednesday of each month, which again is coming up this Wednesday. Lunch is served at noon. Veterans and currently enlisted military members, they eat for free. No reservation is needed. This is located in the Taunton Lodge of Elks 150 at the Miles Standish Industrial Park, 775 John Quincy Adams Road in Taunton. The phone number to get in touch with the Taunton Lodge of Elks, 508-824-1500, and the email is meal@tauntonelks.org. That is MEAL at tauntonelks.org. Again, Wednesday at noon is that event. Also coming up as well, and I've seen a lot of signs up for this as well. There's a sign on the Taunton Green, electronic sign for this as well. The free yard waste drop off in Taunton will be taking place this week. Wednesday, November 19th, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Friday, November 21st, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturday, the 22nd of November, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And this is located at the City Convenience Center, 330 East Britannia Street. Proof of residency is required, no commercial waste, and no box trucks. In addition to the yard waste pickup of the week of November 17th as well, which is today. This is in addition to the yard waste pickup of the week of the 17th. Questions, call the Taunton Department of Public Works, 508-821-1431, 508-821-1431. A couple of other things going on now in Middleboro. The town of Middleboro, they're selling 500-piece jigsaw puzzles, showcasing the community just in time for the holidays. The puzzle project was spearheaded by the Planning and Community Development Department and costs $25 each. Proceeds from this sale and sales of this these puzzles, will benefit events and programs planned by the Office of Economic and Community Development. The custom 500-piece jigsaw puzzles depicting the town of Middleboro, they're on sale now at the Planning and Community Development Department Office, Town Hall Annex, located at 20 Center Street. You can call 508-946-2425 for more information. That sounds like a great thing to raise money for events going on around Middleboro. Everyone loves jigsaw puzzles. I've done a couple. I haven't done any in a long time, but I have done some when I was younger, and they're fun. They're fun to do. You do need a lot of patience for that, and a lot of time, a lot of free time, and a lot of patience with jigsaw puzzles because they take quite a while to do. But the 500-piece ones, they're shorter and they don't take as much time. There are jigsaw puzzles that are much larger than that, 1,000 pieces plus, that are a lot larger than that, and there are a lot more time that it has to be put into that. But jigsaw puzzles are a very fun thing as well. Something I always used to do as well is word crosses as well. The word cross stuff as well. And that was always pretty fun. And it's not really time consuming. You just kind of sit there and complete the word cross puzzles, and kind of makes the time go by pretty quick. Actually, you get into a word cross puzzle, and all of a sudden it's 2-3 hours, and you're having a lot of fun with that as well. But there's a lot of different activities with that, and a lot of fun things you can do with that. But jigsaw puzzles again, really really fun thing. I would definitely recommend people go and get those jigsaw puzzles and support the community of Middleboro. All right, got a couple more things here that I'm going to talk about towards the end of the program. A couple of Thanksgiving things and Christmas things as well to talk about in Taunton. Of course, Thanksgiving is coming up pretty quickly as well. So we're going to talk about that. I mentioned yesterday that the meals for Thanksgiving from Middleboro St. Vincent de Paul are now going to be going out. I believe it was tomorrow that they will be going out. So we talked about that on Sunday briefly. They also have the gift giving program going on as well. And that sign up is for another couple of days. We'll talk about that at the end of the show as well. But one other thing I want to talk about here before we take our 11:30 news break is the blood drives. We have several blood drives coming up here for the remainder of November. Tuesday, November 18th, Freetown Council on Aging, 227 Chase Road in Freetown. That's 2:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. for that blood drive. Monday, November the 24th, Lakeville Public Library at 4 Precinct Street in Lakeville, 12:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. Sunday, the 30th of November, Church of Our Savior, 60 Union Street, Middleboro, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for that blood drive. And also, if you're unable to make those blood drives, they also, the Red Cross, has blood donation centers in Raynham and also in Kingston. All right, 11:30 a.m. We're going to take our news break, and we'll be right back here on WVB at 1530 a.m., 99.7 FM. We'll have some more sports to talk about. We'll have transportation to talk about as well, and more community events as well to talk about. And your phone calls, 508-822-1106. We have open phone lines today, so call in. Again, 508-822-1106 is the number to call. We'll be right back. There are folders over here. I'm just not sure on this desk here, on this black thing there. I'm not sure if they're the ones that you're looking for. Oh, come on! Why is it doing that?
Acting up.
Let me get this news going here real quick.
Yeah, let's go. The news. We'll take a look.
From town hall.
It's gonna say political. Right?
Yes.
Now that the
There is a political one in here, but it's from 2020.
Yeah.
As of 6 a.m. Eastern Time this morning, airlines have the green light to resume regular flight schedules.
This one is
Following a joint
2021
announcement from
and
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy,
2024, that one.
Administrator Brian
Okay.
Bedford. During 10 days of restrictions, 40 major hubs were impacted in the U.S., including New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Atlanta, due to safety
No,
concerns
that's
from staffing
notes.
shortages and long hours at air traffic control facilities.
Gotta be.
Restrictions affected thousands of flights across the country over that time. George Williams reporting.
President Trump has ended U.S. tariffs on beef, coffee, fruit, and other food items that have become more expensive. He even admitted to reporters that in some cases, tariffs may increase consumer prices. It remains to be seen if
That's
or
it?
by how much prices are affected by the move.
These where there should be.
Meanwhile,
It's in the front.
economist Steve Moore says lowering the cost of living will
I think
It'll take another 6 to 9 months.
really do want to
Fix this problem
Stuff.
because it's embedded in the system. Just like it took Reagan about 2 years to fix
That's
the
the public
inflation
fund.
problem that he inherited from Jimmy Carter back 40 years ago.
Moore was interviewed on the Salem Radio Network. President Trump has backtracked in his fight with Republicans over the Jeffrey Epstein files. He now says there's nothing to hide and that House GOP lawmakers should vote to release the information. The president's reversal comes as 100 Republicans or more in the House are set to back the Epstein bill. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu says it's time to formally investigate the October 7, 2023 Hamas attack, but he's angered many in Israel by appointing a government committee, not an independent one. More at townhall.com.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher, host of the Mike Gallagher Show. I don't mess around when it comes to saving money. Right now, rates have dropped to the lowest level in over a year and a half. That means if you bought your home or refinanced in the last 3 years, you could be saving hundreds of dollars every month.
The public file will be in this one.
Sounds good.
Things are in this one. That's what we're working on Thursday.
Sounds good, yeah. I know we gotta get the politicals in there too.
In as little as 4 days. It's the easiest system you've ever had to do yourself online. Whether you want to pay off bills, a project, cover education, or even a wedding.
Is there a couple that you want me to screenshot and send over to get to put on the thing
Well,
today?
What we're gonna do
I think we have half of them on there.
is I've gotta try and get the first things first, I'm gonna try to get the public file in, and I can't do anything until tomorrow.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna work on, if I have time, to send ones we already have on file and send them over.
Yeah.
Then on Thursday, because they'll give us time to do this.
Of course.
We'll work on the rest of them, so hopefully we'll get those screenshotted in the file by tomorrow, by Thursday.
Yeah.
Coaches and feminists over the gradual invasion of female sports by males. The ruling in the case is expected in the summer of next year and promises to be another landmark. Michael Harrington report.
A former Federal Reserve governor who retired in August listed several stock trades in her financial disclosure documents for 2024 that violated the central bank's ethics rules. The transactions were outlined in a report released by the U.S. Office of Government Ethics. Fed officials are barred from investing in individual stocks, bonds, or cryptocurrencies. News and analysis at townhall.com. An NFL fan in stable condition after being shot yesterday in New York City.
New York Mayor's office says Jets cornerback Chris was critically injured in a shooting in Midtown Manhattan. The New York Police Department says a 29-year-old man shot early Sunday was taken to a hospital where he was in critical but stable condition. Mayor Eric Adams' office says the man shot was Boyd. There had been no arrests as of Sunday. A Jets spokesperson says the team is aware of the situation. Boyd hasn't played this season with the Jets after going on the season-ending injured reserve list in August. I'm Geffen Coolbaugh.
On the field yesterday, the Denver Broncos extended their winning streak to 8 games with a 22-19 win over the Kansas City Chiefs. They won on a game-ending field goal. It gave them an NFL best record of 9-2. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Looks good. That's good. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And we are back here on Middleboro Matters on WVB at 1530 AM and 99.7 FM. You can also watch me as well as listen to me on YouTube live. I'm live right now on Middleboro Matters Radio YouTube channel, Middleboro Matters Radio YouTube channel. I'm live on that channel every Monday, 11 to 12 a.m. 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. There we go. So there we go. I used to live stream all of my shows on Facebook. I no longer do that. I'm now on just YouTube now. All right. Now moving over to our sports. It was more of a national sports segment here. Did our local sports segment at the beginning of the program. Now we're going to do our national sports segment here. Starting off with the Patriots. The Patriots, of course, defeated the Jets, as I mentioned on Friday. They did it relatively easily. The Jets, didn't make it completely easy for us, but the Jets are the Jets, and it's kind of a game where the Patriots had control for most of it. 27 to 14. There we go. Is the final score in that one. This was the game I talked about. They wore those very interesting jerseys, those blue jerseys that definitely looked pretty cool. Honestly, I mentioned how cool they looked, and another good thing about that Thursday night game was it was on the television. It was on the TV. You could actually watch it, and not have to look through Amazon to try to find it. Which is a good thing. We were able to watch it on television and also on the radio as well. 98.5 Sports Out. So that's great. That's great. But a good game for the Patriots. 27 to 14. And then you kind of look at what the last couple of games are for the Patriots, and I mean I feel pretty good about the remaining schedule for the Patriots, especially after yesterday's games. The Bills do look a little scary. They do. They look a little scary still, but. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had them on the ropes for a lot of that game. And they blew it. They blew it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers blew that game. They really did. Because, again, they had Buffalo on the ropes, and they just could not get the job done. Another team that's on the ropes coming out of this week is the Chiefs. The Chiefs lost to the Denver Broncos. Of course, the Denver Broncos are very, very good, but that is not a great result for the Chiefs because now that drops them to 5-5 on the year, and they're in danger of missing the playoffs. And they have a couple of games left in their schedule that are not easy at all. I could very easily see them losing 7 or 8 games, and then that would be it. They'd be out. They'd be out of the playoffs. So you might not be seeing the Chiefs in the playoffs this year, which is something. If you were to tell me week 1, if you were to tell me that was going to happen, I would have laughed. And a lot of people would have laughed. The Chiefs looked like a powerhouse coming into this season. They looked very good coming into the season. And it just didn't shake out that way. Again, 5-5. They look like a team that's going to miss the playoffs. I mean, they could still have a winning season, maybe 9-8, potentially. But I'm assuming they're probably going to win only 8 games. So maybe an 8-9 record for the Chiefs. Looking at what remains on their schedule. And there are some very difficult games there. Unless the Chargers, who the Chiefs play like they did on Sunday. What a terrible game for the LA Chargers. 35-6 loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And boy, it's bad. That game. The Steelers might also have some problems as well. They did beat the Bengals 34-12, but apparently Aaron Rodgers is now hurt. Don't know how badly, but he is potentially hurt, which could affect the Steelers going through the rest of the year. The Bengals are done. Bengals, with this loss, they're done. Don't expect them to make the playoffs. They're done, which is another huge surprise because coming into the year, a lot of people were talking about the Bengals. And then the Joe Burrow injury happened. He won't be back till after Thanksgiving. I mean, their season's already over. So do they even play Joe Burrow for the remainder of the year to begin with. I don't see why you would now at this point. I would say just shut him down for the year and start over next year. Just go back to square one and see if you could improve on the year that this was, which was a total disaster for the Bengals. Packers defeated the Giants, that's a good win for them. Bears defeated the Vikings, which is a good win for the Bears. Some other games as well. You had the Sunday night game, the Eagles defeating the Lions 16-9, and you have the Monday night game tonight, and that's going to be the Cowboys versus the Raiders. What a fun Monday night game that's going to be. That was sarcasm. No, that is going to be a terrible game. But you don't always get winners on Monday night, and this is certainly not a winner of a game. But you got Week 12 coming up. The Patriots will take on the Bengals on Sunday. And again, I just got through talking about the Bengals. They will not have Joe Burrow. This should be a pretty good game for the Patriots. We'll see what happens there. Maybe the Bengals have a little bit of fight in them in this game. But I don't know. I think the Patriots can go to 10-2 here. For sure. Then you have Week 13. The Patriots have a Monday night game against the Giants, another team that I expect that we should win against. That would get us to 11 wins. And then the bye week, I believe, is right after that. Yes, the bye week is after that. Then on the 14th, the Patriots will be at home. They'll take on the Buffalo Bills. And that'll be probably the biggest game of the year. Bills versus Patriots. It's kind of a battle in the AFC East. And that's going to be a big one. I suspect, it looks like the Patriots could probably win the AFC East if they win against the Bills on the 14th. So we'll see what happens in that game. Then you have a couple of more games after that. You have Patriots versus the Ravens, which will be a tough one. Yes, the Ravens are 5-5, but Lamar Jackson is back. So we'll see in that game. And then after that, the Jets again. And then to end the year for the Patriots will be the Dolphins. So a couple of easier games to end the year. So really, looking at the Patriots' schedule, you really only have, I think, 2 more tough games left on the schedule. And if you lose both of them, that's 4 losses. That's a 13-4 record. And that's pretty big. Pretty big record for the Patriots. Especially over the past couple of years, they have not touched that record, that kind of record. They have not sniffed that kind of record over the past couple of years. So the Patriots are in a good position, I feel like, to go deep in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens here. And I would feel even better about the Patriots if they were able to beat the Bills on the 14th of December. That is a big game. That is the game to circle on the calendar. That's a big game. Massive game for the Patriots. All right, 11:47 a.m. We're going to take our last commercial break. When we come back, we'll briefly talk about the Celtics and the Bruins, and then we'll get into some transportation as well. Enter your phone calls. 508-822-1106 is the number. We'll be right back.
neighbor.
I mean, looking at that game yesterday for the Bills, I think the Patriots can beat them. I really do.
Yes, but it's gonna be a lot tougher because they're going to have a, they're gonna have a real need or want to
win.
Yeah.
Because
Because they were pretty much embarrassed in the first game. They did not play well.
No, they didn't play well at all. And they could have lost that game yesterday. They could have.
Oh, very much so.
And Josh Allen became freaking the next second coming of like Tom Brady in the last 7 or 8 minutes of that game.
Sure.
He talks about local events in Middleboro and anything of interest in Middleboro and beyond. So join him, Middleboro in Review with Joey Driscoll, Sunday morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. only here at AM 1530.
Good morning, caller. You're on a commercial break right now, but we'll be right back in just a minute. All right. Okay, 2.6. All right, coming back in 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we are back here on Middleboro Matters. It is 11:49 a.m. and we have a phone call, and we're gonna say good morning, caller.
Your favorite person. I thought I'd call you about this. I just looking at the computer just now.
Yes.
This is a Democratic Cowboy.
Democratic Cowboy.
$1,745 for the row A in the Madison Square Garden tonight.
Oh yes, for the for Monday Night Raw. Yes, Monday Night Raw tonight.
Yeah, $1,745.
Wow.
Wow. Where do they get the money for these tickets?
I mean, of course, it's going to be that much. It's John Cena's last Monday Night Raw. It's his last appearance at Madison Square Garden. So it's not surprising.
Bruno and Pedro Morales never got this.
No, of course. But it'll be interesting to see who John Cena faces tonight. I think he'll be in a match tonight. I just don't know who against who.
Every time they do this, I congratulate them, and that's why I got to call you, because I congratulate the people out there, Providence, everywhere, spending the money for these tickets. Because I sit here and see it for nothing.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see.
And I got a chair just like Michael Cole sits in.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see who the mystery opponent is in the one of the 2 final first round matchups as well. There's a mystery opponent involved. There was a mystery opponent on SmackDown that ended up being Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona. So we'll see who this is. I don't expect
something, Joey.
Yes.
Stone Cold came out.
Yes.
That would be something.
Came out. It's not going to be Stone Cold. I don't think Stone Cold is going to enter the John Cena retirement.
What if David Sammartino walked out there?
I don't think that's going to happen either. I also don't expect Chris Jericho. It would be great to see Chris Jericho in the tournament, but I don't expect it. I think it's probably going to end up being someone from TNA.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go with Mike Santana.
You know something? That bunch of guys that had down there in Bridgewater the other night, 2 cage matches, they've got that stuff on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, I don't know what's keeping Ryan Drew from not putting the guys on YouTube.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I am gonna. When I get the show December 5th, Joey, Cesar Leo's coming, and I'm gonna try to talk to Ryan Drew and Bobby and the Holy Name. I'm gonna try to get my best to get Ryan on YouTube.
You know, with YouTube TV.
I'm gonna talk to him, and he'll listen to me. I hope, and the rest of them up there December 5th at the show, $25 in Brockton here. And I'm telling you, I hope we can get somewhere because they had a cage match on YouTube and everything.
Yeah, I think with YouTube TV or YouTube Premium or things like that, or YouTube, putting stuff on YouTube like that, I think a lot of people have reservations now, especially because I think people are looking at what happened between Disney and YouTube. and maybe thinking, is YouTube something you want to, invest in when it comes to putting your stuff on there? Because, again, these two companies, a couple of years from now, they're just going to have another argument again. And stuff's going to get pulled off of YouTube again.
I hope Russo and the coach don't get their way and keep these fans out of paying these tickets. Because I have to go back to my movies. I've never seen a real big movie on my TV watching this stuff.
Wow. Well, yeah.
That's how I've been addicted to this wrestling sport for years, Joey. Ever since I went to Taunton at the Roseland Ballroom, ever since I went to the Rhode Island Auditorium, ever since I went to Witchy, this wrestling, pro wrestling, has been my baby.
All right. We are gonna move on to something else here. I want to thank you for calling in today.
You're welcome, Joey. I love talking to you, man.
Call in anytime. I'll call in anytime.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Joey. Have a good day.
Yeah, bye-bye. That's Democratic Cowboy calling us for a couple of minutes, talking about some of the big wrestling shows coming up. Of course, you got the Monday Night Raw from Madison Square Garden tonight. That will be John Cena's final television appearance. That's not a premium television appearance. And that premium television appearance will be Saturday night's main event on NBC. So there you go. That's going to be December 13th. I believe that's when that's going to be. So that is going to be a very good show, by the way. Saturday night's main event from Washington, D.C. Of course, it'll have John Cena's final matchup, probably for the Intercontinental title, because I don't think, even if he has an Intercontinental title matchup tonight, I don't think he loses it. At all. We'll see. He could. There's obviously a chance that he could, depending on who comes out. But I think he'll have one more match tonight, and it'll be a big match for whoever accepts. And, of course, the final match he has, whoever wins that tournament, a lot of people are saying Gunther will win that tournament. I'm hoping for somebody else. I'm hoping for someone like LA Knight to win that tournament, but we'll see. But whoever wins that tournament and gets that final matchup with John Cena, that's a big matchup. That'll be a big matchup. And then, of course, whatever John Cena does at Survivor Series is going to be big. I don't know what he's going to be doing there. But, John Cena's final couple of appearances are going to be special ones. And as a wrestling fan, watching John Cena for the past many years, he's a big wrestler in the company and someone who a lot of wrestling fans loved. So these next couple of appearances are going to be, important for the fans as well. So there you go. There's your wrestling, roundup there a little bit. Whenever I get a chance to talk about wrestling a little bit, I always take advantage of that opportunity. Make sure I talk about the important things going on at the time for the wrestling. But on Friday, we're going to do a transportation topic on Friday. We have a lot to get to, I think, on the transportation, for sure. But we're going to end the show by talking briefly about the Providence Bruins and the Boston Bruins and the Celtics. So let's start off with the Providence Bruins. Today is today's Monday, the 17th of November. Their next game will be, and their schedule is a little weird. They have a couple of games, and then they have like a week where they don't have games, and then they have a couple of games, and then, the cycle repeats. But their next game is Friday. They'll take on Lehigh Valley, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. And their standings right now, they're second in the Atlantic, which is a little bit surprising that they're second in the Atlantic because they're 12-2. They have a really good record, 12-2 right now, 24 points in total. But Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins are better, 12-3 with an overtime win. And I think that's probably what it is. That the reason why they have 1 point over Providence, because Providence doesn't have an overtime, any kind of overtime points or anything like that right now at this point. But that's something as we go on over the next couple of weeks to keep an eye on the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins and the Providence Bruins, how they do, because that's going to be a battle between those two teams. We'll get an update from Eric in a couple of weeks on December the 5th on what he thinks with the Providence Bruins as well, because I mean they've been very impressive. They've been very impressive over the past couple of weeks. Now the Boston Bruins have been much better over the past couple of weeks as well. They got a win against the Canadiens on Saturday. They'll take on the Hurricanes tonight. So they're doing all right. I mean, are they perfect? No, but through the first 20 games of the year, they have 24 points, and they're 12-8. That's not a bad record. That's not a bad record at all. They're on top of the Atlantic Division. Hopefully that stands. I said before, don't get too excited with the Bruins, because they've shown over the past years that they've had epic collapses, and hopefully it doesn't happen this year, but it could. It could. With the Celtics, they are 7-7 after a 121-118 victory. This has a feel to it. The Celtics season so far through the first 14 games has a feel to it that they've taken a couple of steps back. I hope that they can find their footing and play better and maybe sneak into the playoffs. But at least through the first 14 games, they're kind of playing like a team that's going to kind of be hovering around 500 and probably miss the playoffs. At least through the first 14 games. That's my feeling on it. Of course, my feeling could change, and I do expect it to change. But, right now, that's my feeling with the Celtics. All right, 12:01 p.m. I want to thank everyone for listening in today, calling in. And I'll be back on the air once again on Friday with another edition of Hometown Talk, the Friday edition of Hometown Talk, where we'll talk about all things transportation, as well, along with sports and much more. We have a couple of local, statewide things that I want to talk about too that are kind of interesting. And I think I'm going to also do a scam awareness segment as well on the show. I didn't get to do it last week. I was going to do it last week, but I didn't get to it last week. So I'm going to do it this week as well. So stay tuned for that on Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Until then, I hope everyone has a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.
We are AM 1530, WVBF, Middleboro, Taunton, and W259DD, Middleboro Center, 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
Said we're about a minute.
A team that's going to kind of be hovering around 500 and probably miss the playoffs. At least for the first 14 games. All right. That's my feeling. Of course, my feeling could change. All right. But right now, 12:01 p.m. I want to thank everyone for listening in today and calling in. And I'll be back on the air once again.